Kayla stood in the center of the vortex arena, her heart racing. The sun shone brightly, reflecting off the polished stone of the arena floor. She had trained for this moment her entire life, ready to prove herself as the best fighter in the realm. With her fierce reputation, she was known for her unmatched skills and strength. But today was different. Today, a new challenger had arrived, and he was unlike anyone she had ever faced. As the crowd cheered, Kayla couldn't shake the feeling of unease. She had heard whispers of a man named Dorian, a newcomer with a calm demeanor that seemed to draw attention from everyone around. She had seen many fighters come and go, but something about this one sparked her curiosity. Perhaps it was his confidence, or the way he carried himself. He didn't seem intimidated by her at all. When Dorian stepped into the arena, Kayla felt a mix of excitement and irritation. He was tall, with a relaxed posture that suggested he was more than just a fighter. As they locked eyes, Kayla felt a surge of determination. She took a deep breath and growled, "No man can beat me." Dorian just smiled, his expression calm and unyielding. "Try me," he replied, his voice steady. The crowd hushed, waiting for the duel to begin. Kayla's heart raced as she thought about the countless hours she had spent training. She was ready to show everyone that she was the strongest warrior. But as they began to fight, she quickly realized that Dorian was not an ordinary opponent. Kayla launched a series of powerful attacks, each one more forceful than the last. She was fast, her movements fluid and precise, but Dorian seemed to anticipate her every move. He dodged and countered with a grace that both frustrated and fascinated her. With each passing moment, Kayla felt her confidence waver. Dorian was unlike any man she had ever faced. As the match continued, Kayla pushed herself harder, desperate to prove her worth. But Dorian remained unfazed, his smile never fading. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the duel ended in a draw. The crowd erupted in applause, but Kayla felt a mix of frustration and admiration. She had never encountered someone who could match her like this. After the match, Kayla approached Dorian, her heart pounding. "How did you do that?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity. Dorian shrugged. "It's not just about strength. It's about strategy and understanding your opponent. You have incredible power, but there's more to fighting than just brute force." Kayla frowned, not ready to accept that there was more to learn. "I've trained my whole life to be the best. No one can beat me," she insisted, but deep down, she knew there was truth in his words. Dorian smiled again, a hint of respect. In his eyes, "What if we trained together? I can help you see things differently." Kayla hesitated. Part of her wanted to refuse, to cling to the idea that she was already the best. But another part of her was intrigued. She realized that perhaps there was more to learn, and maybe Dorian could help her uncover it. After a moment, she nodded. "Okay, let's do it." As they trained together, Kayla learned to think beyond her strength. Dorian taught her the importance of strategy, patience, and adaptability. They sparred, laughed, and shared stories of their lives. Kayla found herself enjoying his company more than she had anticipated. With every session, she felt herself growing, not just as a fighter but as a person. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Kayla and Dorian deepened. She began to see him not just as a rival but as a friend. They pushed each other to new heights, and Kayla discovered that true strength came from collaboration. She felt empowered by the lessons Dorian shared, and her confidence soared. One day, after a particularly grueling training session, Kayla sat on the edge of the arena, her breath coming in heavy gasps. She looked over at Dorian, who was wiping sweat from his brow. "You know, I never thought I would learn so much from someone else," she admitted, a smile breaking through her usual fierce demeanor. Dorian grinned. his eyes sparkling with encouragement. "And I never thought I would find someone as fierce as you. You have the heart of a champion, Kayla. Just remember, it's not always about winning. It's about growing." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the arena, Kayla felt a sense of peace she hadn't experienced before. Dorian had not only challenged her physically, but had also helped her understand the value of friendship and teamwork. She realized that the journey they shared made her a better warrior. The day of the final match of the tournament arrived. Kayla stood at the entrance of the arena, her heart racing with excitement and nerves. She could hear the crowd cheering, their energy electrifying the air. This time she felt different. She was no longer just fighting for herself. She was fighting for the lessons she had learned, and the bond she had formed with Dorian Dot as she stepped into the arena. She spotted her opponent, a fierce fighter known for his strength. But Kayla felt ready. She remembered Dorian's teachings and took a deep breath, centering herself. The fight began, and she moved with newfound confidence, combining her strength with strategy. She adapted to her opponent's moves, using everything Dorian had taught her. With each strike, she felt more powerful. The crowd roared as she fought, and Kayla could feel the energy surrounding her, lifting her higher. In the final moments of the match, she executed a move she had practiced with Dorian, catching her opponent off guard. With one swift motion, she claimed victory. As the crowd erupted in cheers, Kayla raised her arms in triumph. She had done it. But as she looked around, her eyes searched for Dorian in the stands. When she spotted him, she smiled, knowing that her journey had only just begun. After the match, Kayla approached Dorian, her heart full of gratitude. "Thank you for believing in me," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "I couldn't have done this without you." Dorian smiled back, his eyes shining with pride. "You did this, Kayla. You found your strength." In that moment, Kayla realized that no man could beat her, not just because of her physical strength, but because she had learned to embrace growth, friendship, and hope. With Dorian by her side, she felt ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. "No man can beat me," she growled, a fierce determination in her voice. Dorian just smiled. "Try me." Kayla stood on the edge of the vortex arena, her heart still racing from the excitement of the final match. She had won, proving to herself and everyone else that she was a true champion. But as the cheers of the crowd faded, a feeling of emptiness washed over her. Dorian, her training partner and friend, had been her greatest support, but now he was nowhere to be found. After the tournament, Dorian had received an urgent message from his homeland that required him to leave immediately. He promised to return, but days turned into weeks, and Kayla found herself missing him more than she expected. The arena felt different without his calm presence beside her. She remembered their training sessions, filled with laughter and challenges, and she couldn't shake the sadness that settled in her heart. Kayla tried to focus on her training, pushing herself to become even stronger. She practiced her moves, sparred with other fighters, and worked on her strategy. But no matter how hard she trained, she felt a void. The victories felt less meaningful without Dorian to share them with. She missed their conversations about technique and life, the way he always found a way to challenge her thinking. One evening, while sitting alone in her room, Kayla glanced at the small wooden box on her shelf. Inside were tokens from her battles, medals, stones, and other mementos. Among them was a small carved figure that Dorian had given her, a symbol of their friendship. She picked it up, feeling a wave of nostalgia wash over her. She remembered his words. "It's not just about strength. It's about the bonds we create." Kayla sighed, her heart heavy. She wanted to reconnect with Dorian, to let him know how much he meant to her. But how could she reach him? They hadn't discussed how to stay in touch, and she wasn't sure where he had gone or when he would return. The thought of losing their friendship made her feel even more distant. Determined to find a way, Kayla decided to seek help from her fellow fighters. She approached her friend Lyra, a skilled fighter who had traveled far and wide. "Lyra, do you know anything about Dorian's homeland?" "I want to send him a message," Kayla asked, her voice filled with hope. Lyra looked thoughtful, her brow furrowing. "I've heard stories about his village. It's a place known for its warriors, but it's also far away. The journey is long and dangerous." Kayla's determination only grew stronger. "I don't care. I need to reach him. Can you help me find a way?" Lyra smiled, appreciating Kayla's spirit. "All right, I can help. We can send a messenger bird. It's the fastest way to communicate over long distances." Together, they prepared a message. Kayla poured her heart into the letter, expressing her feelings, her victories, and her longing for their friendship. She wrote about how much Dorian's support meant to her, how he had helped her grow stronger, and how she hoped to see him again soon. With the message ready, Lyra helped Kayla find the messenger bird. They attached the letter to its leg, and Kayla watched as the bird took flight, soaring into the sky. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would Dorian receive it? Would he respond? Days passed, and Kayla returned to her training, but her mind was often elsewhere. She found herself imagining Dorian's smile, his calm demeanor, and the way he always believed in her. The more she trained, the more she realized how much she had learned from him. After Dorian returned, Kayla felt a renewed sense of purpose. The days spent apart had only strengthened her resolve to become the best fighter she could be. Now that Dorian was back, she was determined to train harder than ever, not just for herself, but for their friendship. However, despite the joy of his return, there was still an unspoken distance that lingered between them. They spent the next few weeks training together, and Kayla loved every moment. Dorian pushed her limits, helping her refine her techniques and strategies. They laughed, sparred, and shared meals, but Kayla couldn't shake the feeling that something was still missing. The bond they once shared felt slightly different, as if a wall had been built during the time Dorian was away. One evening, after an intense training session, Kayla sat on the edge of the arena, watching the sunset paint the sky with vibrant colors. Dorian joined her, sitting quietly for a moment. She wanted to talk about how she felt, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, she stared at the horizon, lost in her thoughts. "Kayla?" Dorian finally broke the silence. "What's on your mind? You seem distant." She turned to him, her heart heavy. "I don't know. I'm glad you're back, but I feel like things have changed between us. I can't quite explain it." Dorian nodded, understanding in his eyes. "I feel it too. When I was away, I realized how much our friendship meant to me. But being apart has made things different. It's like we're both trying to find our footing again." Kayla sighed, relieved that he understood. "I want to reconnect, to get back to how we were before. But I don't know how to bridge that gap." Dorian smiled gently. "Maybe it's about being open with each other. We've both changed during our time apart. Let's share what we've learned. We can grow together again." Kayla felt a spark of hope at his words. "You're right. Let's start by sharing our training goals. I want to become even stronger, but I also want to learn from you." "Then let's do it," Dorian replied, his enthusiasm infectious. "How about we set some specific goals for our training sessions? It can help us focus and reconnect." They spent the next hour discussing their aspirations, writing down their goals on a piece of parchment. Kayla wanted to improve her agility and strategy, while Dorian aimed to enhance his strength and endurance. As they shared their dreams, Kayla felt the distance between them begin to close. They were actively working to support each other, and it felt good. The next day, they began their new training regimen. They pushed each other harder than ever, combining their strengths to create a unique training experience. Kayla focused on speed and agility, darting around the arena, while Dorian worked on his strength, lifting heavy stones and practicing powerful strikes. They cheered each other on, sharing tips and techniques. One afternoon, during a sparring session, Kayla felt a surge of energy. She had been working hard on her footwork, and it showed. She dodged Dorian's attacks with newfound agility, surprising him with her quick movements. "See? I told you I could improve," she exclaimed, her face lighting up with excitement. Dorian laughed, admiration in his eyes. "You're incredible, Kayla. Your hard work is paying off. I'm proud of you." As their training progressed, Kayla felt more connected to Dorian than ever. They began to share personal stories, discussing their hopes, dreams, and fears. Kayla opened up about her childhood, her struggles to prove herself as a fighter, and how much Dorian's friendship meant to her. In return, Dorian shared his own challenges, the pressure he felt to live up to his family's expectations, and how he had found strength in their bond. One evening, after a long day of training, they sat together by a small fire. The stars twinkled above them, and the warmth of the flames felt comforting. Kayla took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. "You know, I think we're getting back to where we were," she said softly. Dorian smiled, his eyes reflecting the firelight. "I agree. It feels good to share these moments with you again. I missed this." Kayla felt a warmth in her chest. "I missed it too. I realized that even when we're apart, our friendship can still grow. We just have to keep working at it." Dorian nodded. "Exactly. It's like training. We have to put in the effort to strengthen our bond, just like we strengthen our bodies." As they talked, Kayla felt a sense of clarity. Their friendship was not just about fighting or training. It was about support, understanding, and growth. She knew that even if they faced challenges in the future, they could overcome them together. The next day, a tournament was announced in their village, inviting fighters from far and wide to compete. Kayla felt a rush of excitement and anxiety. She wanted to enter, but the thought of competing without Dorian by her side made her hesitate. "What if I don't win?" she thought. Seeing her uncertainty, Dorian encouraged her. "You've trained hard, Kayla. You're ready for this. Just remember what we've worked on, and believe in yourself." Kayla took a deep breath, feeling his confidence bolster her own. "You're right. I can do this." The day of the tournament arrived, and the arena was filled with cheering spectators. Kayla felt a mix of nerves and excitement as she stepped into the ring. She spotted Dorian in the crowd, his supportive smile giving her strength. With each fight, she remembered their training, focusing on her goals and the skills they had practiced together. As she fought through the rounds, Kayla felt empowered. She moved with grace and confidence, employing the strategies she had learned from Dorian. With every victory, she felt closer to him, knowing that they were in this together. Finally, she reached the final match. Her heart raced as she faced her opponent, a fierce fighter known for their strength. But Kayla stood tall, reminding herself of all the hard work she had put in. As the match began, she focused on her footwork, dodging and weaving, using her agility to outmaneuver her opponent. She remembered Dorian's encouragement, and with each blow she landed, she felt a surge of hope. With one final strike, Kayla emerged victorious. The crowd erupted into cheers, but all she could think about was finding Dorian. As she looked into the stands, she saw him jumping up and down, his excitement infectious. Kayla rushed over to him, her heart full. "I did it! I won!" Dorian embraced her tightly, pride shining in his eyes. "I knew you could do it, Kayla. You're amazing." In that moment, Kayla felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their friendship had grown stronger through their challenges, and she realized that they could always reconnect no matter the distance or time apart. As they stood together, Kayla smiled and growled playfully. No man can beat me. Dorian chuckled, his gaze unwavering. Try me. With hope in her heart and a renewed sense of strength, Kayla knew they were ready to face whatever lay ahead together. After winning the tournament, Kayla felt a surge of pride and accomplishment. She had proven herself as a fighter, but the victory felt bittersweet without the comforting presence of Dorian beside her. Even though they had reconnected in training, she still sensed a lingering distance. Dorian was a part of her journey, but now she worried that their paths might diverge again. Days turned into weeks, and while they continued to train together, Kayla couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. Dorian had returned, but she wanted to deepen their friendship, to ensure it would last through whatever challenges lay ahead. She wanted to create memories that would bind them, just as they had during their intense training sessions. One evening, as the sun set over the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple, Kayla sat by the edge of the arena, deep in thought. Dorian approached, sensing her mood. Hey, Kayla, what's on your mind? He asked gently. Kayla looked up at him, her heart pounding. I've been thinking about how much our friendship means to me. I want to make sure we don't lose that connection, even if you have to leave again someday. Dorian sat down next to her, his expression serious. I feel the same way. Our bond is important, and I want to keep it strong. But how do we do that? Kayla thought for a moment. What if we create a tradition? Something we can do together regularly, even when we're apart. That way, we'll always have a way to reconnect. Dorian's face brightened. That's a great idea. What do you have in mind? What if we set aside one day each month to train together and reflect on our growth? We can share our goals, discuss our challenges, and remind each other of our strengths. Kayla suggested. I love it. Dorian replied with enthusiasm. We can call it Strength Day. It will be a day just for us, no matter where we are. After they agreed on the idea, Kayla felt a wave of relief and excitement. She realized that creating this tradition would help strengthen their bond and give them both something to look forward to. They spent the rest of the evening discussing what they wanted to achieve on their first Strength Day, sharing personal goals and aspirations. As the weeks passed, Kayla continued to train hard, focusing on her agility and strategy. The anticipation of Strength Day motivated her, and she found herself improving even more. Dorian was impressed by her dedication, often telling her how proud he was of her progress. One day, as they finished a grueling training session, Dorian turned to Kayla with a serious expression. I need to talk to you about something important, he said. Kayla felt a knot of anxiety in her stomach. What's wrong? I've received news that I might have to leave again soon. There's a mission in my homeland that I need to help with, Dorian explained, his voice steady but filled with concern. As the days passed after their first Strength Day, Kayla found herself filled with hope and determination. The bond she shared with Dorian felt stronger than ever, but a quiet worry lingered in her heart. Soon, Dorian would have to leave for his mission, and she couldn't shake the feeling of sadness that came with it. She wanted to ensure their friendship remained strong, even when they were apart. One sunny afternoon, after a training session that had left them both breathless, Kayla decided to address her worries. They sat on the grass outside the arena, catching their breath. Kayla looked at Dorian, who was wiping sweat from his brow. Dorian, can we talk about something important? Of course, Kayla. What's on your mind? He asked, turning to her with concern. I know you have to leave soon, she began, her voice steady but her heart racing. I want to make sure we don't lose touch. I don't want to feel distant from you again. Dorian nodded, understanding her feelings. I don't want that either. Our friendship means a lot to me. Kayla took a deep breath. Let's find a way to stay connected, no matter where you are. We could write letters or send messages using the messenger birds. I want to hear about your training and your missions. And I want to share my progress too." Dorian smiled, his eyes brightening. "That's a great idea. I'll send you updates whenever I can. And I promise to always make time for our strength days, even if they're virtual." Kayla felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you. That means so much to me. I just want to keep growing together, even when we're apart." "Absolutely," Dorian said, his tone reassuring. "And I'll always remember the lessons we've shared. No matter the distance, I'll be cheering for you." As they talked, Kayla felt a renewed sense of hope. They were not just fighters. They were friends committed to supporting each other. With a plan in place, she felt ready to face the challenges ahead. The day of Dorian's departure arrived all too quickly. Kayla stood at the edge of the village, watching as he packed his belongings. She felt a lump in her throat, knowing that this was the beginning of another separation. But she reminded herself of their promise to stay connected. "Are you ready?" Dorian asked, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Kayla nodded, trying to keep her composure. "I am. Just remember to write me whenever you can." "I will," he promised, his gaze sincere. "And I'll return as soon as I can. We'll have another strength day, and I want to hear all about your progress." With a final embrace, they said their goodbyes. Kayla watched as Dorian walked away, her heart heavy but hopeful. She knew that their friendship could withstand the distance, and she was determined to keep it strong. In the weeks that followed, Kayla poured herself into her training. She focused on improving her speed and agility, using the lessons she had learned from Dorian. Every time she felt discouraged, she reminded herself of their promise to stay connected. She even set up a special spot in her room for Dorian's letters, a place where she could read his words and feel his presence. As days turned into weeks, Kayla received her first letter. It arrived with a swift messenger bird fluttering down to her window. Excitedly, she opened the letter and began to read. "Dear Kayla, I hope this letter finds you well. My mission has taken me to new places, and I've met many interesting warriors. I've been training hard, and I can't wait to share everything with you. Remember, you are stronger than you think. Keep pushing yourself, and I know you'll achieve great things. I'm proud of you. Yours in friendship." Dorian. Kayla felt a rush of warmth as she read his words. She could almost hear his voice in her head, encouraging her just as he always did. Inspired, she decided to write back immediately. She shared her training progress, her goals, and how much she missed him. As the weeks turned into months, the letters became a cherished part of her routine. Each one brought news of Dorian's adventures and insights into his training. He shared stories about the warriors he met and the challenges he faced. In return, Kayla wrote about her victories and struggles, detailing her journey to become a stronger fighter. One day, while reading one of Dorian's letters, Kayla felt a spark of determination. He had written about a particularly tough battle he faced, emphasizing the importance of resilience and never giving up. Inspired, she decided it was time to push herself even further. She set new goals for her training, aiming to master a difficult technique that had always eluded her. As she practiced, Kayla pushed through the frustration and fatigue. She remembered Dorian's words about strength and perseverance. Each time she stumbled, she visualized his encouraging smile, urging her to keep going. Slowly but surely, she began to improve. The technique that once seemed impossible started to feel attainable. One afternoon, while practicing in the arena, Kayla felt an exhilarating rush. She executed the technique perfectly, her movements fluid and powerful. She couldn't help but smile, feeling a sense of accomplishment. In that moment, she knew that her hard work was paying off, and she couldn't wait to share this victory with Dorian. After finishing her training, Kayla decided to write him another letter. She described her breakthrough and how much it meant to her. She wanted him to know that his support, even from afar, had been a guiding light in her journey. Days later, as she waited for a response, Kayla felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She wondered what Dorian would say about her progress. When the messenger bird arrived, she rushed to open the letter, her heart racing. "Dear Kayla, I'm so proud of you. Hearing about your progress truly inspires me. You've worked hard, and it shows. I knew you could do it. Keep pushing forward. I believe in you, and I can't wait to train together again. You are becoming an incredible warrior. Yours in friendship." Kayla felt tears of joy fill her eyes as she read his words. She realized that their friendship had not only survived the distance, but had flourished. They were both growing in their own ways, supporting each other through every challenge. With renewed determination, Kayla committed herself to training even more. She set her sights on the next tournament, determined to showcase her newfound skills. She wanted to honor their friendship and show Dorian how much he had influenced her journey. As the tournament approached, Kayla felt a mix of nerves and excitement. She practiced tirelessly, envisioning Dorian cheering for her from afar. On the day of the tournament, she felt ready. She stepped into the arena, her heart pounding, but her spirit strong. With each match, she fought with confidence and skill, remembering the lessons she had learned from Dorian. She executed her moves flawlessly, feeling the energy of the crowd and the warmth of their support. As she advanced through the rounds, she thought of Dorian and the bond they shared. Finally, she reached the finals. The atmosphere was electric, and Kayla focused on her opponent, ready to give it her all. As the match began, she felt a surge of strength, channeling all the training and encouragement she had received. After an intense battle, Kayla emerged victorious. The crowd erupted in cheers, but all she could think about was Dorian. She wanted to share this moment with him, to let him know how much his support had meant. As she stood in the center of the arena, arms raised in triumph, she smiled brightly. She knew that no matter the distance, their friendship would always be a source of strength. "No man can beat me," she growled, her voice ringing out with confidence. Dorian's spirit echoed in her heart as she declared, "Try me." With hope and determination guiding her, Kayla knew they could face any challenge together, no matter where life took them. Their bond was unbreakable, and their journey was just beginning. After winning the tournament, Kayla felt a rush of excitement. She had trained hard and achieved her goal, but the victory felt incomplete without Dorian by her side. They had promised to stay connected, but as days turned into weeks, she felt the distance between them growing again. Kayla missed their conversations, the way he pushed her to be better, and the laughter they shared. One quiet evening, as she sat in her room reflecting on her journey, Kayla decided it was time to take action. She wanted to reconnect with Dorian in a way that would remind them both of their shared commitment to each other. She thought about their strength days and how much they had meant to her. Inspired, she came up with an idea. The next morning, Kayla gathered her supplies to create a special gift for Dorian. She wanted to send him something that would remind him of their friendship and the promise they had made to support each other. She went to the local market and bought colorful threads, beads, and a small wooden box. Back at home, Kayla carefully crafted a friendship bracelet. She intertwined the threads, symbolizing their bond. As she worked, she thought about all the lessons they had shared, the laughter, and the strength they had found in each other. With each knot she tied, she envisioned Dorian wearing the bracelet and feeling connected to her, no matter how far apart they were. Once the bracelet was complete, Kayla wrote a heartfelt letter to accompany it. In her letter, she expressed her feelings about their friendship and how much she appreciated his support. She wanted him to know that he was always in her heart, even when they were miles apart. After sealing the letter and placing the bracelet in the wooden box, Kayla felt a surge of excitement. She arranged for a messenger bird to deliver her gift to Dorian. As she watched the bird take off into the sky, she felt hopeful. This gesture would show him that there